What's up YouTube? I'm back and I'm back with a video about Saskatchewan. There was a request actually mentioned on one of my comments saying to do a video on Regina versus Saskatoon. So I'm going to talk about those two places today, even though we only lived in one of those places, which was Regina. I'm still going to compare the two just for you, my audience, because I'm a people pleaser and I do videos based on comments made on my channel. So if you want me to make a video on something you are thinking of or wondering about, comment below and maybe I will add it to my video idea list. So first off, we're going to go through basically the cost of houses there. The average income household income in each city, basically also the socializing aspect of both cities, the activities. I'm gonna mention dangerous areas that I know of in Regina, and maybe I can find something about Saskatoon as well online. And I'm going to talk about the nightlife and the transportation and the weather. So if you are interested in those topics and comparing the two cities, you can watch the whole video. So we're going to start off right off the bat with the housing or the cost of real estate in both cities. So I looked up on a few websites. I have my laptop here right in front of me, and I found that the average cost of a house in Regina currently is $252,900. So that's the average cost of a house in Regina. That's significantly, really cheap compared to where we are living now in Vancouver. Average cost of a house here is in the millions. So yeah, seeing Regina's average house cost right now is pretty appealing, but it's not in Vancouver. So getting back to the topic. In Saskatoon, the average cost of a house right now is $290,100. So those are both pretty close, about like a less than $40,000 difference. And I think that is relatively pretty affordable if you're making like an average household income of at least, I don't know, like $60,000 a year. So this first property is basically, like brand new pretty much. It's only 1 year old and it's a house. It's freehold, so you're basically buying the whole house. You're not buying into a leasehold or anything like that. It's yours once you buy it, and your purchase price will be that amount, $464,900. And with a 20% down payment, you pay that up front when you buy the house. And you're going to be going on an interest rate probably lower than this if you're buying during COVID times especially. And that would only be $1,801 a month. And so this is being sold by this broker. I know him specifically. He's Jason Claremont, who owns that, I believe. And he is a very nice real estate agent. If you're looking to buying or selling a home in Regina, definitely contact him. He is a great agent. He actually helped us buy our home that we sold in Regina. So this is a new house for sale, and it is $464,900, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 1,850 square feet, and it's a house with a garage, everything attached. And it is in the area of, so this is on Greens and Gardner, which is a really, really good area. I would definitely recommend if you're looking to buy in Regina, you don't know the areas. Greens on Gardner is really good, as well as these areas too. Everything basically in the east is pretty good. These areas are all good. The Creeks, West Canada Gardens, West Canada View, Greens on Gardner, Woodland Grove, Windsor Park is a favorite of mine. Gardner Heights is good, University Park East. And then after that, that's pretty much all that I would buy in. Maybe University Park and Gardiner Park, but other than that, those are my favorite areas in the east, specifically Windsor Park, West Canada View, the Creeks, and Greens on Gardiner. And there's also the Greens, which is newer than that as well. So this house is in the Greens, and that is a very new area in Regina, and is very safe and very family friendly. So that is the price you can buy for a new house if you're interested. Going next here, you can also get a house, which is this one here, for $344,900 for 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 1,495 square feet, and a full house. And it's a freehold. It's only 1 year old still, and it's still actually under construction. And this is in the area of Greens on Gardiner as well. So this is also a great area. It's just maybe like 10 years old, 5 or 10 years older than the Greens area that the previous house was sold in. So this is basically what you would get. As you can see, it's like brand new, everything brand new and very nicely designed. Next up, we have here an older listing. So if you want to get into Windsor Park, which is one of my favorite areas, this would be what you would be looking at for price, $429,910. So these listings are on the market currently right now as we speak. If you're interested in any of these houses to buy. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm actually planning on becoming a real estate agent in the next year as soon as I finish my degree. I'm working on finishing my degree right now, and then I'm going to become a real estate agent. So this I would say is one of my favorite areas, this house right here. And it's a little bit dated, but you get a lot of square feet, and it's a house, 3 bed, 3 bath, and it shows really well. There's a nice fireplace there, carpet, very nice stairwell. So that's pretty much your bang for your buck in this area here on Nottingham Crescent. So yeah, that's what you would get for this house. And across the ways, this area of this house is Gardiner Heights. So it's basically right across from Prince of Wales. That's where this is right here. And this is Windsor Park, and this is Gardiner Heights. And that's where this house is. And it's only $379,900. And you get 4 bedrooms and 3 baths for 1,586 square feet in a house. It's a little bit much dated. You'd have to do some renovations if you wanted to make it look more modern. But that is a really good price range for a whole house in Regina. And in a really good area still. So yeah, you definitely probably need to renovate this kitchen if this is not your style. And that would still only be $1,471 per month on the mortgage if you did a 20% down payment. Okay, so that's Regina. And now we go to Saskatoon. So I found a couple properties in Saskatoon that shows kind of the price range in a great area that I know of. Not that I know of, but I looked it up actually. I had to look up because I've never lived in Saskatoon. I've only visited a couple times. That's basically their main, I think that's their main bridge going to downtown, in and out of downtown. And so it says that the first area here that's listed is Silverwood Heights, which is a safe listed area. And I found this house for $359,900 in that area. Let's see here. So yeah, Silverwood Golf Course. So this is in that area right there, and it says it's safe. So this is an older house, but it is a very good price range, and it is in a really good area according to that website. And it's a little bit dated, so you would have to remodel it as you like. But it is a full house and 4 bed, 3 bath, 1,175 square feet. So pretty big of a house still, and it's all finished. This is the basement. And yeah, pretty nice still for that price. I mean, I'm not trying to compare it to Vancouver, but if that was in Vancouver, that would be over $1 million, depending on where it would be. But comparing it to Saskatoon to Regina, I have to correct myself every time. So Saskatoon to Regina prices are pretty the same if you're trying to find. I mean, Saskatoon is a little bit more expensive. There's this other property that I found in that same area. So it's literally in the same area. There's a Silverwood golf course. So this one looks a little bit more remodeled, and I think, yeah, its inside is very renovated. So see, this is a remodeled kitchen, which looks very nice. Very nice sized bedroom with a nice bathtub and 2 sinks, his and her sinks. Nice shower. Looks like it's from the master bedroom. And there's a pull-up bed. So this one is very renovated, so it looks newer. Still has a really nice backyard and a nice kitchen. I really like that kitchen. Okay, so this house is $429,900. And in the market in Saskatoon, especially during COVID, you don't really have to pay that price. You can actually negotiate every single time you put an offer down on a house. Some people might not know that if they're new to Canada, but if you're new to Canada, you can definitely offer even like 5% less at the minimum, or even 20% less if you want. It depends on how the market is. If it's a seller's market, then obviously they probably won't consider your offer if you're offering 20% or less from the purchase price. So let's say if you were to offer 20% less than this, that would be a payment of $429,900 times 0.80, so you reduce 20%. So you could even offer as low as that. If the seller is really desperate to move, they will consider or try to even like maybe renegotiate you like higher than that, and you never know. So you could even do, like, if you don't really want to push it and you know that you're probably up against other buyers, you could do 95%, and then you could write an offer for this house for $408,405, and that would give you a savings. And you don't also need to put 20% down. If you pay 20% down up front when you buy any home, you do have the benefit of not being charged an additional amount by the CMHC. So that's why the recommendation is to put down 10 or 20%, but you can actually put lower than that. It really doesn't really matter. You can even put 10%. It really depends on the individual buying the home. So that would bring your down payment to even less. And being at COVID right now, the interest rates are more like, I've seen as low as that. So that would bring your mortgage monthly payments down. So yeah, that's a little bit of background of buying a house in Regina or in Canada. If you're buying a house in Vancouver, then obviously that's a completely different story. It's almost like very rare you can offer any seller even more than like 2% off their list price. So because it's a seller's market always here. So as you saw, the housing is pretty much very similar in Regina and Saskatoon. I would say it's more expensive in Saskatoon, and in Regina it's a little bit more cheaper. So moving forward, I want to talk about the average household income. The household income in Regina, let's just see my screen here. Okay, so I found this website. It's not really up to date, but it's as far back as 2018. And it says that the median household income in Regina is $81,832 as of that report from Statistics Canada 2016 census. So I don't know if it's different right now, but that's a link that I will link below in my YouTube video. And the median income, I found a website here for Saskatoon. Not sure when this report was made, but it does say that the median family income in Saskatoon is $85,882 per year. So Saskatoon has a higher median household income. The median household income is actually a little bit higher in Saskatoon, according to these two websites that I found. And I would believe it because Saskatoon is slightly a bigger city, and so therefore they might have more job opportunities than Regina would. But that's not to say that Regina doesn't have job opportunities, because they do. And there goes my cat. Okay, so moving on, we are moving on to the social activity aspect of both cities. So I lived only in Regina, so I can only really speak for Regina in this case, but I would say because Saskatoon is a more trendier, slightly more trendy than Regina, I would say the nightlife in Saskatoon is way better than Regina's nightlife, slightly, because they're very similar. Just one is a little bit bigger in population, Saskatoon, than Regina. So for nightlife in Regina, I have a couple of videos, actually just one video on the nightlife activities in Regina. It's really rare to, I guess, be able to see an event in the nighttime in Regina, if that makes sense. For my husband and I, honestly, it was really boring at night coming from Vancouver, BC to Regina. We found it, like, I guess it's not considered a struggle, but it was boring at times. Like, you really have to find activities to do in a city like Regina and Saskatoon, I would say, because it's just not as, I guess, vibrant as what we're used to in Vancouver. So if you are coming from a big city and you move to a place like Regina or Saskatoon, just be aware that you will have limited things to do at night with your spouse or with your friends. You will find that you will probably be hanging out at a friend's house a lot of the times, and that's pretty much it, or go to a pub or something like that. But you're not gonna see any clubs. Like, there's no clubs, I would say, in those two cities. When we first moved to Regina, there was a club named Pure, I think, Pure, and they closed down because I don't know what happened, but they closed it. I guess not many people were going, or maybe there was some kind of crime happening, I don't know, but they had to close it. The only bar that I know of people going to that are like early 20s, maybe, like, it's called Gabbo's, and that's on Dudney in Regina. I wouldn't say it's like a big city like Vancouver club. It's more like a bar slash dance lounge, but it's probably the closest to a club in Regina. And for Saskatoon, I don't know any clubs there, so I can't really comment on that, but I assume that there's more happening there than Regina, slightly more, because again, they are very similar cities, so just keep that in mind. For activity wise, they're very similar. Okay, so moving along. Activities in Regina and in Saskatoon. I would say activities are better in Saskatoon because they have concerts. Like way more artists will come to Saskatoon versus Regina because it's a bigger populated city than Regina. And like for example, like Selena Gomez, I think Justin Bieber, Drake was supposed to come to Saskatoon, but he didn't. He canceled. And we saw T.I., if you know T.I. We saw T.I. in Saskatoon. He held my hand and he sang to me. That was one of the best moments of my life. And so if you're into like concerts and stuff like that, I would strongly suggest picking Saskatoon because there's more artists going to Saskatoon versus Regina because it's a bigger city. Next, I have dangerous areas in Regina. So I would say to stay away from the area north central in Regina. It's not known to be the safest place. If you're especially new to Regina and you don't know, just kind of stay away from the area north central or Coronation Park, I think it's called. Or is that Saskatoon? I'm starting to forget about areas and stuff like that in Regina because I've been here for a little while in Vancouver now. Like the crime rate is really high in that area and you don't want to be in that area at nighttime especially. Like areas surrounding North Central, like anything on Elphinstone, I wouldn't be near there if you don't have to. But other than that, if you are interested, my top favorite neighborhoods in Regina was Windsor Park, Harbor Landing, Greens on Gardner, The Greens, Southland, Douglas Park. Those are my top favorite areas. Other areas, like I mentioned earlier, the creeks, what kind of views are really nice. And anything around Wascana Park is really nice too, like Lakeview, I think is what's near there, or I forgot the areas, but those are really nice areas. Or anything near Sask Polytech area is really nice. Anything near University of Regina is really nice as well. So if you're interested in buying a home in Regina, definitely consider those areas as the top areas of Regina. I actually am not really interested in living in the north. I just find it's like a whole different vibe from the rest of Regina. There are nice areas too in the north. You just need to, I guess, look. Like if you're noticing houses are more expensive in a specific area than another area, then it's probably because it's a better area. Just keep that in mind when you're looking for a house and in knowing what area to live in. So before I move on topics here, the dangerous areas that the website I was on said about Saskatoon. Saskatoon, the less safe areas are Confederation Park. Apparently that's a really less safe area, and Pacific Heights. Those two areas are not that safe. So if you're looking for a house in Saskatoon, make sure you consider those two areas as not being safe, not safe. So that's Confederation Park and Pacific Heights. The safe areas, according to this website, are the two safe websites listed: Silverwood Heights and Lawson Heights. So if you're interested in Saskatoon, definitely consider those two areas that are good. So my last two topics are transportation and the weather in both cities, Regina and Saskatoon. And I would say transportation is the same in both cities. They're both relatively small cities about like the 200,000 to 300,000 range of population between the two of them. Like they're each, like I think Regina is just over 200,000 population right now, and Saskatoon is, I don't even know. Let's see. So Saskatoon's population is 273,000-ish as of 2017. So it's probably gone, I don't know. It's probably different right now, but approximately 273,000. And so I would say the transportation in both cities are the same if you consider the population size, like they're relatively smaller cities. The weather is next up, and I would say the weather is the same throughout the whole province. The weather in Saskatoon and Regina are the same because they are still within the same region within Saskatchewan. Not in the same region because they're different cities. They're about 2.5 hour drive away from each other. Regina is closer to the Winnipeg border, Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is where I was born. And Saskatoon is more up north-ish, like closer to Alberta border. So that concludes my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments on Saskatoon versus Regina and you're wanting to know anything, comment below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up because it means a lot to me. And if you just want to say hello, also comment below and let me know what you think of this video. Anyways, that's it for now, and I hope you have a great day. Cheers!